Hi, it's Nicole McGuirk with this week's From Start to Finish video brought to you by twopeasinabucket.com. This week's layout features substituting some computer-generated journaling with stamped journaling. For this week's From Start to Finish, I am going to be focusing on a travel-themed layout, and I started with these two sets from Technique Tuesday. One is the Are We There Yet set by Ali Edwards. Has a whole bunch of vacation and travel themed stamps. And then to coordinate with that, I'm using this month's Studio AE stamp set that is available in the 2-piece store, which is a whole bunch of other travel themed words and images and things, or one image I guess, and a lot of different words. And I'm going to be using this mostly for part of my title and also for bringing attention to my journaling. My journaling is going to be the focus, I guess, of this layout, and I'll show you kind of what I mean in a little bit. I've already printed out my photos. I printed out a 5x10 photo collage with some 3x3 by 2.5 inch photos, and I just trimmed them apart here because I'm going to have them border the page. And then I have another photo here that's about 3.5 by 5, I believe. So yes, or 3.5 by 5.5 rather. So that's my photos. There's going to be 7 photos on the page, and then my papers. I picked this paper from the Hello Beautiful collection from Bella Boulevard, not because I'm going to really be using like the cupcakes and things, but I thought I might use one of these little circles, punch it out to use as an accent for the page. Also, probably going to use a couple of the borders on here. And even the back of the page is this really nice green with white kind of leafy design, which would coordinate nicely with the rest of the things I've picked for this layout. Then I have this yellow and white plaid paper from October Afternoon. This is from the Thrift Shop collection. Then from Bella Boulevard, there's Sophisticates collection. I have this really pretty aqua. From Bella Boulevard's Hello Beautiful, this really nice gray with white polka dot. Then from My Mind's Eye, I just grabbed a ledger type paper. This is from the Fine and Dandy collection, which this would coordinate nicely too, but I mostly picked it because when I'm stamping like my journaling like this, I really kind of think it's fun to have a more notebook looking paper. It gives you somewhere to line up your stamping and your journaling and things like that. Then to coordinate with, I'm not going to use that one. I did grab some of this red Bella Boulevard paper from the Family Dynamics, which I use quite a bit, so I've just got some scraps left there, just in case I need to throw in a little bit of red somewhere here and there. Then I had this scrap also from the Sophisticates. I've used this stripe before, but on the other side it has these really cute little days of the week. And I thought I might even use one of these if I don't end up using one of the circles here on this paper. So just have some choices for some different things to use. I also grabbed this Coordinating Hello Beautiful cardstock sticker sheet. I thought I might use maybe even the heart or something like that. I don't know if I'll use these or not, but I went ahead and pulled those out. Then from October Afternoon's Seaside collection, I did grab the word stickers because I probably want to use a couple of accents, like maybe the crab and things like that, just to kind of give some embellishment to the page. They're label stickers from Seaside. And then I also grabbed the word stickers from October Afternoon's Roadmap collection, just in case I want to throw in one of those, and just some basic label stickers from Cherry Hill. I thought the location sticker might be cute to even like print the name of the city where we were at or something like that, or the green one would be good for a subtitle or additional information or the date, something like that. And to stamp with, I did pull out some inks I've got a few from Stampin' Up, and just because I thought they coordinated nicely with what I'm using. And then of course my favorite cough syrup from Jenny Bolin. So I'm going to go ahead and get the page put together for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already printed out my journaling on regular printer paper, and I just kind of am tucking it underneath my photos how I think it's going to go on my page. And I'm going to lay out the stamps I'm going to use and make sure that I have my spacing right. Now, I already had made one error, and I had to go back and fix it. I didn't have my margins wide enough, so it's all kind of bunched up there in the center of the page. And so my paper that I'm really going to be using is quite a bit wider. Here you can see where I wrote it all out to begin with, and then I measured each of the stamps so that I would know how much space I needed to leave for each word or phrase when I was typing up the rest of my journaling. So I always just handwrite it first and kind of circle all the words that I have stamps for. Then I go and type it all up and leave space for each of the words after I've measured them with a ruler. So I did go back and fix that. But right now I just kind of laid it out to make sure that it was all going to work. So I kind of knew how wide of paper strips that I needed to use for my page, because there's no sense in cutting a whole bunch of paper strips if I'm not going to be using them. So I'm going to cut my paper I'm going to stamp on and use for my journaling to about 6.5 inches wide by 10 inches. So I'll move my stamps out of the way there for a minute, and I'm just going to lay out some of my papers now. And I'll go ahead and trim everything that I'm going to use, or most things that I'm going to use. Decided I like that blue up there a little bit better. I think that the ledger paper shows up better against the blue. So I'll cut a little strip of the yellow to put at the bottom of the page. I'm going to grab this Bella Boulevard paper and cut that yellow strip. I already cut the floral strip, but I'm going to use the yellow one as well. And then I'm going to cut a couple of strips from this gray Bella Boulevard paper with a little white polka dot. And grab my red paper and cut a strip from it as well. So I'm just kind of using up some scrap papers and some things that I haven't used a lot of. Okay, once I have my paper strips all pretty much laid out how I think I'm going to use them, I'm ready to get my journaling going. Because it's the focus of the page, I really want to make sure that I have left enough room for it and that it's going to work out right. So now that I have got it all printed out like I want it, I'm going to temporarily adhere the paper I'm really going to use. Oh, sorry about that. Got my head in the way. I'm making sure that I have enough room for the die cut title, because I am going to stamp part of the title and then the rest of it will be a die cut. Then I will temporarily adhere my paper to my printer paper, and then I'll run it through my printer to add the computer generated journaling. Just gonna hold it up to the light and make sure yet again before I go ahead and run it through my printer that I have everything correct. Okay, there it is, all printed out, and I'm ready to do the fun part where I add my stamping. So I'm just going to, I have all 4 colors that I'm using laid out, and I'm going to ink that up, and I did stamp it off on a piece of scratch paper first. Some of the stamps that haven't been stamped before, I like to kind of try them out before I go ahead and commit them to my project, just in case. In this instance, I didn't have another sheet of this ledger paper, so I really didn't want to mess it up. And then I'm just simply going to stamp each of the words with whatever color of ink that I want. And I kind of went in a pattern, but I got off the pattern. It's however it looks best. If you're using a bunch of colors of ink, I don't really want 2 of the same colors of ink next to each other, so I just kind of try to really be careful that I spread them out. I don't want another blue word underneath the word journey. And I'm just cleaning them with a wet paper towel after each stamping so I can use the same. I like this thin acrylic block that I have for these small words like this. So I'm using a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow ink. You could also use all the same color ink or any number of different things. I just think this adds a lot of color and fun to this type of journaling and stamping. Plus it kind of adds an embellishment type look to your page, but it is your journaling. So a lot of additional embellishments aren't really needed. I really love how the journaling comes to life as you get all the words stamped. I've been doing this, I think I've done like 3 of these pages now because I'm so addicted to this kind of look. I think it's really fun. And it's really not hard as long as you measure and leave space for all your stamping. I used to try to do it hit or miss, and it would be hit or miss. I wasn't measuring the stamps, so it was such a pain. And I think I only did it like once, and I never did it again. But once I realized if you measured them with a ruler, it makes it so much easier. So there it is, all stamped, the journaling portion of it. I'm going to add my title, and I ended up changing the title just a little bit, which you see in the finished layout and at the end of the video here. I added a little bit more die cutting, but I needed to have that in place so I knew where to stamp the rest of my title. And I'm again using stamps from the same 2 stamp sets, both travel themed by Ali Edwards. And I'm adding the colorful stamping up here again. Since the title is all in black, I want to make sure that there's plenty of color on the top part of the page. And this little dot, 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 dot is from, I think that a limited edition stamp set by Technique Tuesday, the December daily set that they had last year. You could use little dots from any stamp set to do the same kind of a look. So now I'm adhering all of my pieces, and I did stamp the date on an October afternoon label sticker using another Ali Edwards stamp set. Trying to figure out the best place to put my stickers. Kind of move those around a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with them down here. And I want to add some buttons, so I was just moving some things around, and I ended up changing my mind and not using the Doodlebug buttons, and I used some from My Mind's Eye, the kind of antique-y looking ones, and I think some crepe paper ones and things like that. This little banner die cut is from Collage Press, and the button clip is KI Memories. And it, again, they just add color and fun up there in the corner of the page. Kind of working with the rule of thirds, so you've got the little banner and paper clip, then you've got the little crab sticker, and then the stickers down near the bottom with the buttons. So it kind of helps your eye visually move through the page. And I'm sewing on all of my buttons here. I like to actually sew mine on and not just put the thread through and glue dot them. I do that sometimes, but I find that I'm so much happier if I actually sew them onto my page. They don't come loose in my sheet protectors. Okay, once I was finished, I really felt like I wanted something at the bottom of the page. And I haven't done this in forever, but I used to do this quite a bit. I would use an anywhere hole punch. That's what this is, or you could use any kind of small hole punch that you have, or an eyelet punch or things like that. And I'm just going to punch holes in the center of that design of that pattern paper all the way across. And then I can put some color, the red paper behind it, and it just kind of pops. It's a very simple look, and it's just one that I really like. I could also have put something on top of the paper, but I really like the look of the paper peeking out from underneath. So I'm just going to go through and hole punch all the way across there. What I really should have done was do this before I adhered my paper, that strip of paper, to my page. It's kind of harder going because I'm going through like 3 sheets of paper. If I was just going through one, it would have been much, much easier. So just a little tip, don't do what I did. Anyway, there is what it looks like. I'm going to just put my piece of red pattern paper behind there. And then I did add a couple of gems in some of the little holes there on each end, and it just kind of recesses them enough that they don't stick out and they won't fall off as easy. And there is a look at some of the other embellishments. I added little gems for the crab's eye as well, and another button up there near the top with the clip and the little die cut. For more information on this layout, plus a list of supplies used to create it, please visit twopeasinabucket.com on June 22nd, 2011 under the From Start to Finish series in the Designer Garden. Thanks for watching.